Alright, how's it going? My name is Siver, and this is my submission video for Mario Tennis Power Tour any % singles on normal difficulty. So, the game has a 7.5 minute opening cutscene, so I'd say I just get into the game, create the file, and we can discuss all the things at the start of the run. So, I'll be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Let me just plug in the basic settings for the game real quick. Alright. So, this is Mario Tennis Power Tour. This is a very odd game, I'd say. So, you might be familiar with games like Mario Power Tennis on the GameCube, or Mario Tennis Aces on the Switch. This is not like those games. It still has, obviously, the sports game aspect in tennis, obviously, and all the fancy power shots that you know. But on top of that is an RPG, thanks in part to Camelot. For if you don't know, they're also the developers behind Golden Sun. So, if you've ever played that game already visually, you're gonna like recognize the style of text boxes and stuff. Very Golden Sun-esque. And yeah, I'd say the RPG is almost more of the focus in this game than the actual sports. But obviously there's still gonna be a good portion of tennis. So the basic gist is, we're a new player at the Tennis Academy, and we just have our first day, and our doubles partner is going to show us around. So right now I'm playing on the Japanese version. It's faster with text, obviously, because Japanese is a language that manages to cram more meaning into less characters. But probably for a marathon run, I'd probably take out my PAL card, so I could play the game in English. And along with that, you could probably have a naming incentive for naming the character. I'd have to check how many characters, how long that name can be. But yeah, that is a potential incentive. But yeah, we're just getting word that there's a bunch of masked players just randomly going around challenging coaches in the Royal Tennis Academy. So we want to get to see that, obviously, our first day. We want to see some pros play and learn from the best. But we're a bit too late and they're already gone. Everyone's wondering who these masked players are because they play in ways they've never seen before. Oh yeah, lots of just talking at the moment. We'll get to playing tennis in a few minutes. Suppose it would be a good point to also get off some plugs or read donations and stuff. So yeah, I guess a little bit about the category. Any % singles, obviously. On day 2, right now we're playing day 1, but on day 2, you get the choice. Do you want to do singles or doubles first? Our doubles partner asks us, do you want to like start with playing doubles? And we can just, at that point, we can just tell him no. We want to play singles, or yes, we want to play doubles. So obviously this is going to be the singles campaign. And normal is the difficulty. There's 3 difficulties in this game: easy, normal, and technical. Easy being, you know, pretty straightforward. You're most of the time going to be hitting service aces and return runners. Technical being quite the challenging run, actually. Highest difficulty of the game. Normal being kind of the middle grounds, in the fact that you still want to like make use of great mechanics to score service aces and return runners, but opponents are going to put up much more of a fight here. Going to be confronting the headmaster, because we want to know obviously who they are, but they're like, you know, they're wearing masks, probably they don't want to be known. Kind of makes sense, but Alex over here, the head coach, makes us a promise that if we win an upcoming tournament, the Island Open, they will tell us who these masked players are. And that's kind of like the motivation for these two. So, there's an issue though. To get to Island Open, we have to get at least rank 2 in the varsity class. And right now, we're obviously new. We haven't like gotten started yet. So we gotta get to training. So a quick run-through of how this is gonna play out. There's 3 classes at the Royal Tennis Academy. That's juniors, seniors, and varsity, from lowest to highest. And each of these classes has 4 ranks. We're starting as unranked, obviously, in each class. So we gotta beat all the ranks, and once we're rank 1 in juniors, we go to seniors. Once we're rank 1 in seniors, we go to varsity. And in varsity, we gotta score at least rank 2. And we do this by defeating the a higher ranked player. We have to defeat them in order, though. So if we're unranked, we gotta defeat rank 4. If we're rank 4, we gotta defeat rank 3. And that's how it's gonna go. And off we go. So first off, I'm gonna head to the seniors court here. Obviously, we shouldn't be there yet because we're brand new. We're gonna start in juniors class. But we're gonna get a little cutscene here with the seniors coach who's saying like, hey, you're a juniors player. What are you doing on the seniors court? You just want to watch the other people play? Okay, sure. And what that does is, once we come back to seniors, once we've actually graduated from juniors, we're not gonna get a cutscene here, and the introductory cutscene to seniors is a lot longer than the one we just went through. So it's worth it to first go to seniors, get that cutscene, and then have no cutscene once we actually graduate to seniors. It's like every time you come into your class's court for the first time, you get this little introductory cutscene with the coach. As we have one right here with our juniors coach Mark. Alright, so before we get started on the match here, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a detour and grab a hidden 1-up mushroom, which gives us a slight stat boost, basically based on as if it was 1 level up. And now we're gonna challenge our first opponent, rank 4 of juniors class, Sophia. So, as I've already mentioned, the goal of this run is going to be to score as many service aces. That means getting a score with a service, like that, or return winners, if it's the opponent's serving set. We want to just get a point with the first hit that where we return their service. Oh wow, that's actually a bit unlucky. Usually I'm supposed to just get 4 clean service aces here, but yeah. Things can be a bit wacky here, because we don't have good stats yet. And scoring return winners, especially this early on, is really hard. So with Sophia, we have a very weird strategy. We kind of dive into the ball like that, and it's still no guaranteed return winner, but it's the method that has like an only realistic shot at this point because our stats are just non-existent. I'm just kind of banking on getting a high shot from her here so I can just smash it down the other side of the court. There, I got a return winner, pretty nice. Yeah, there's a lot of like minimal strategy that goes into like manipulating opponents and trying to end ball exchanges as quickly as possible. You don't get a lot of that in the easy difficulty, which is why I like normals. Still get to prove that you know the mechanics of the game pretty well. Those are some pretty fast exchanges right there. It's pretty nice. And there we got a high ball, so we can just smash it down the other side of the court. Pretty good first match, I'd say. Okay. That was a decent first match, I'd say. I'm gonna try and cover like a lot of minimal stuff that goes into like winning these ball exchanges, but there's like a lot of small stuff that I just think of on the go. We're gonna head out to our second match here, rank 3 Mason. Mason is a bit of a pain to deal with, because he's a pretty defensive character, so scoring return winners against him at all is really difficult. And right here we actually devise a different strategy than what we used against Sophia just now. So right here, I'm going to be stepping up close to the service line and hit a straight ball diagonal. That's the strategy that has the best chance of getting me a return winner this early on in the game. But yeah, Mason's is very strong defensively, so getting those at all is not a guarantee. I'm also gonna try and hit as many nice services as possible. You see that little nice text popping up. You hit a nice service by hitting the ball off once it is at the apex of your throw, which makes it a little stronger. It's unfortunate. That looked like it was gonna make it. But yeah. Could have smashed that one, but that works either way. Oh man, not a single one, that's unfortunate. Bit of a rough start here, but we're alright still. Next up is Sasha. Oh, she's over there. This is gonna be the easiest match in juniors. She's not strong defensively, so we're gonna have a much easier time actually hitting service aces and return winners against her. Also, we actually have some amount of stats at this point. There's also a phenomenon in this game, like, I don't know why, but I could swear, the first service of a match, the opponents are much more likely to return than any others. So you saw Sasha return that first service that I hit. There's a very good chance that's going to be the first and last service that she actually returns. You actually see some return winners coming out here. In terms of stats that I level, there's 4 primary stats and 5 secondary stats. So, out of the primary stats, power, control, spin, and speed, we want to mainly level power and control. Power is pretty self-explanatory, allows us to hit balls harder, and control allows us to hit the balls deeper into the court for the opponent. So it gives us a bit more... I don't know how to describe it, hold on. Basically, it allows us to hit stronger diagonal balls, which makes it much harder for opponents to return them. And as for the secondary stats, there's serve, stroke, volley, topspin, and slice. We mainly want to hit serve and stroke. Serve obviously affecting the effectivity of our services, and stroke just affecting the general strength of our strokes. Right, we're now starting our final match in juniors. Against Chris, the rank 1 player. Yeah, I'm gonna be sticking with the strat to step up to the service line and hit straight diagonals. That method's gonna do me well for the next few matches. Kinda hoping to get a near clean sheet here. So far it's looking pretty nice. Nice, send him the other way. Right here I'm actually gonna opt to do a passing shot because he stepped out wide. That's another variable. Opponents can randomly step inwards or outwards during their service. And depending on that, you might have to adjust your strat. So when they step out far, I sometimes choose to do a passing shot to just shoot it straight down the line. Sometimes that is the better play. So with that, we're out of juniors, so we can now head to the seniors court. Before we do that, though, we gotta take a bit of a detour, because at the moment, none of the seniors players are actually on their court, because at the same time, the Tennis Academy has been developing some pretty interesting machines called power shot machines. So, yeah. If you know Mario Tennis at all, you're familiar with the concept of power shots. So basically, each character gets one offensive and one defensive special shot, so to say, called power shots. Offensive power shots obviously help hit the ball harder or in some funky fashion, usually with the aim of obviously scoring a point. And defensive power shots can be used to save a ball from getting hit into your court. That would usually result in the opponent getting a point. So we're kind of forced to do a little mini game here because all the seniors players want to try out these funky new techniques as well. Let's do a little bit of treadmill, get ourselves a basic defensive power shot, and that's it. Theoretically, we don't need the power shot, but we have to be here, so might as well take it, and it can be a nice emergency option should things go south in later matches, because while the game might have looked like a cakewalk in juniors, it's gonna get a lot harder, especially in varsity and Island Open. So off to the seniors court we go. Time to pick our first match here. So, another thing that's interesting about this court, you might see we're on a complete, we're now on a completely different court, so each class has their own court, so to say. The juniors, we played on a hard clay court, and now we're on a sand court. And courts have different variables to them, which kind of change the way I have to think. Because on the hard clay court, ball speed is normal, and ball bounce height is high. But on a sand court, ball speed is low, and ball bounce is also low. Which kind of negates some of the power that we have. Can be a bit annoying. Especially in the later matches that could end up giving us some long ball exchanges because we just can't score quickly. Gary here is already being a bit of a douche. It's not going as well as it could be. for a passing shot. That works. Especially as you get later into the game, you have to do a lot of on-the-fly decisions. Okay, so I actually got 2 levels there, which is not guaranteed. I just barely got that second level, which allows me to have a few more stats going into the next match. And now my stat routing is going to be a little different and wacky. I haven't really figured all of this out yet. But yeah. Obviously, having higher stats means we're going to have a slightly easier time here. Hopefully we can carry that advantage as long as we can. How much EXP you get at the end of a match is determined mainly by the amount of service aces and return owners that you hit. The more you hit, the higher EXP you get. But yeah, you can't 100% control it. At the end of the day, the AI can make different moves, so you can't guarantee a certain leveling that you have at this point. Wow, that's a strong return. Barely. Pretty well. Right here, I actually wait for the ball to bounce first, because hitting a ball volley actually is not as strong as if you let it bounce first. Okay, so I got 2 levels again. Okay. Because we're putting a lot of points into stroke, but no points into volley, which is basically volley meaning if you hit a ball without it bouncing off the ground first. Our volleys are going to be much weaker, so in some cases it's better to wait for the ball to bounce on the ground first. Hold on. Alright. Boy's over here. So yeah, in a lot of cases you want to wait for the ball to bounce on the ground first so you can hit it back harder. Just what I did there. I tried to wait for it there again. And also playing on the net in general has a few risks, which is why we generally don't want to play volley. If you play too close to the net, the AI tends to hit high balls to try and go over you. And also some really silly things can happen, like the AI playing the ball just barely behind the net, which means you have to play over the net first, which takes away a lot of strength. And also what can happen is in very rare occasions they play just barely over the net, that it basically hits the net but still crosses over, which is what we call a net roller. And those are really, really nasty to return. So you see these golden rings appear around our characters. That's basically the sign that we have a power shot ready. And power shots add quite a few more stuff to on-the-fly decisions. Generally, since we don't have an offensive power shot, we just want to hold on to our defensive power shot for emergency situations. Or in later matches when the opponent tries to play an offensive power shot. So I only got 1 level there, so now we're back on track with the normal route. I'll get a bit convoluted now. Alright. Now to our final match of seniors, rank 1 Emmy. So Emmy is an interesting one. She's a technical character, but also a nightmare to play against defensively. And because of the low ball speed, this becomes even harder to score against her. So we have to employ a different strategy here. At this point, our stats are pretty solid, so we can afford to switch up our strategy. The main reason why we did steps close to the service line is to hit the ball back faster, so the opponent doesn't have as much time to react. But at this point we have a pretty solid power stat, so we can afford to play from a default position. This is what we're going to do once we're in the return game. We're just going to stand still at this point and hit him back. At this point, we have a pretty good power stat, so it still gives our opponent a tough time reacting. And it also gives us extra time to charge up a more powerful shot. Okay, and he had to use her defensive power shot there. That was almost close enough for her to use the offensive power shot, which would have been a bit of a trouble. In most cases later down the line, right here, I'm gonna actually use my defensive power shot, even though I could have easily returned that without. The reason for that being, offensive power shot also have a side effect if the player actually manages to return the ball. And in some cases those can be things like you get knocked back, you temporarily lose control of your player. Emmy's offensive power shot, the curveball, basically makes us lose control of our player, which is a bit disadvantageous. So I just use my defensive power shot to mitigate that side effect. Alright, that was a solid Emmy, I'd say. I think I completely messed up my stat distribution. I don't know what I just put in, I'm gonna be real with you. This could be interesting. Alright. Hopefully my stats aren't a total mess, so I can actually still use them. Not get completely obliterated by the upcoming opponents. But with that, we graduated from seniors, so it's time to move on to varsity. So we have a pretty long cutscene here where Emmy introduces us to all the varsity players. So yeah, at this point, probably a good time to read off donations, pluck stuff, all that good marathon stuff. Yeah, this cutscene kind of takes a while. Alright, so we're almost done here. So, Varsity is the top class of the Academy. As already mentioned, we have to reach at least rank 2 to get a chance to enter the Island Open. So let's get to work. First is rank 4, Paula. Paula is a bit unique. She is a pretty speedy character, which makes her a bit annoying defensively, so we're gonna switch up our return strategy yet again. Just a slight variation on what we've had so far. You can see she's already given me a little bit of trouble here on the service set. So what we're gonna do here is just a slight step forward to just limit her reaction time, but still give us a chance to hit a pretty powerful shot. But yeah, Paula is very defensive, thanks to her speed. Bolt bounce there, so we can hit it back harder. So now, the Varsity Court has a normal ball bounce height and very high ball speed, so you can see these tennis balls are just gonna go flying. But we're gonna use that opportunity to put a few more points into control in the next few matches. We don't need that much power to hit super powerful shots. It's a pretty solid start. But yeah, and that's all with the slight step straight strat. That's the only time we're gonna use it, and now we're gonna go back to going standstill straight, like we did against Emmy. Next up is Tori. Tori is a bit of a tricky opponent. She's got some pretty nasty returns at times. It's rather unique in that regard. So I could get some unexpected curveballs thrown my way. That was a really strong return, yeah. Or that return. The main goal here is to stay in control of these exchanges, and when you have to dive for a ball, you most of the time forfeit that control. Like Tori just had to dive for that one, so she lost control. Plus she, at random times, just decides to hit high shots. Tori plays really, really weirdly, which makes her hard to predict. Big thing into like winning these ball exchanges is obviously predict how your opponent is gonna play and then try to counteract that. Because Tori plays such weird stuff at times, it's really hard to read her, and especially weird to counteract that. Pretty good. Alright, pretty good second set, brought it back. Alright. Next up is Whisker. He's a power type, and on a court where the ball speed is already really high by nature, this makes him quite dangerous if he is actually in control of the exchange. That being said, we're just gonna prevent him from ever getting into control, because what he has in offensive prowess, he lacks in defensive. So for most of the time, gonna have an easy time here scoring. Just gotta end exchanges very, very fast before Whisker gets to turn it around. What you can also do when you're in a return game, you can see my character wave a little like that. That's a taunt, and what the taunt does is it reduces the power shot gauge of the opponent a little bit. So whenever we can afford to squeeze one in, we want to squeeze in a taunt. Just to hopefully delay the incoming power shot long enough. So right here, it's very important that I say no to this choice, because otherwise you still have the option to challenge the guy in blue hair next to us, Elroy. He's the captain, he's rank 1. Beating him is completely optional. Like I said, all you need is rank 2 to qualify for the Island Open. So we're gonna be completely content with that and skip a match here. Now we just let all the cutscenes roll. We have another long segment of cutscenes here before we actually get to the next match. So I guess a little bit about Island Open, which is up next. Island Open is going to be a tournament with a proper tournament bracket. We always get the same opponents though, it's not randomized whatsoever. And basically how it works in the game, there's 4 big tennis schools, which are the Tennis Academy, which is where we are, Union, Factory, and I forgot the name of the last one. But yeah, 4 big schools. They all send in 3 players for the tournament, so it's going to be a tournament with 12 players. So starting in the, well, not exactly quarterfinal. Hard to explain. But if you know tournament brackets, then you're gonna know how they're gonna handle 12 players. So yeah, long cutscene here. Another great point to read off some donations. Now the opening ceremonies are done. Get to move around a little, only to stumble into the next cutscene. Still gonna take a while until we're actually back on the court playing. And now we still gotta do one more thing, trigger another cutscene down here. Yeah, almost back. Another thing that will change now is, so far we've played a best 2 out of 3 sets style with the tennis matches. That's gonna change to a best of 3 out of 5 sets now, so we gotta win 3 sets. So matches are gonna take a bit longer now. And also, obviously, the opponents are a lot better now. Island Open is usually the hottest part of the run, despite having good stats at this point. Because the opponents also have good stats, and they will absolutely do their best to screw us over. Basically, any match in Island Open can be a toss-up. One final cutscene as some Academy players here converge. Having a bit of small talk, basically. Elroy being a bit provoking towards Whisker here. Got a bit of an anger issue. But yeah. Elroy, obviously because he's the captain of the Academy, is seen as one of the favorites of the tournament. Whisker, who just barely slid in, even though he's rank 3. Because obviously, since we got to send in 3 players, rank 3 gets to come along as well, which is Whisker at the moment, because we beat him. He doesn't really... He's not very confident right now. And Elroy kind of pokes fun at him for that. But anyways, our first match begins. Elroy, being the rank 1 of our school, he is seeded. So he's got... not seeded. He's got a bye for the first round, which means he doesn't have to play. So it is only going to be Whisker and our player for the Academy first round. Our first opponent is going to be Barb. She's another interesting one. She's got a very different playstyle, which makes her a bit difficult to read. And also she's got some pretty annoying power shots that we have to deal with. So a big thing that will become important from here on out is going to be dealing with opponents who have a power shot ready. If you hit the balls too strong into the opponent's court and they're like very far away from the ball, they will do their best to use their defensive power shot and bring it back. So you want to manipulate that a little bit by making them run for it, thinking they can still get it, kind of like I just did back there. Because if they think they still have a chance, they're not going to use their defensive power shot. But if it's like plainly obvious to the AI, they're not going to get that. They're going to hit their defensive power shot. So we always want to try and give them a bit of an illusion as to they could still get it. Sometimes it's best to not hit it with full power into the opponent's court. Obviously, on the return games, we want to taunt to lower their power shot gauge a little. This is going really well right now, though. It is so far from guaranteed that I actually get all return orders here, so this is extremely lucky at the moment. 6 service aces is about average. Nice. I'm actually gonna get a 12 for 12 here. That would be insane. Oh my god, I might actually. That's crazy. What an insanely good bar, hello. That was a absolutely amazing first match of Island Open. Wow. Very, very lucky there. Alright. Our second match is Sass. He is generally the easiest opponent in Island Open, but by no means someone that you should underestimate. So, Sass has a very interesting offensive power shot called Flying Shot. It's a pretty strong power shot that if you return it without a defensive power shot, you get knocked back very far, so we all absolutely want to avoid getting hit by that without having our defensive power shot ready. But at the same time, this offensive power shot has quite a bit of range to it. Usually the game prevents you from using your offensive power shot when you're too far away from the ball, but Flying Shot has this little animation where the user jumps up 3 times first before using it, and that can actually cover some ground and be used as a defensive option as well. Hopefully we don't get to see that, because it's really annoying when it happens. God, we're gonna have to tank Flying Shot here. Yeah, I didn't even return it. He got that really early. Sass is gonna be the great equalizer here after that amazing first match. And he's got some tricky shots as well. Should be good. Yep. Pretty good. Ah. That was too far away for him, so he used his defensive power shot. 6 services is pretty good against Sass. Usually you get around 4 or 5. That was definitely above average. The turn winners we hit dead average with 6. Alright, we didn't get memed by Flying Shot. We did have to tank a point there, but still a very good Sass, honestly. That can go a lot worse. Alright, up next we have to play against Elroy, actually. So even though we skip him here in the rank 1 match of Varsity, we still have to face off against him in the Island Open. And he's quite the formidable opponent. He's an all-rounder, so he's got no real weak points. He's got some really nasty power shots. So yeah, Elroy is a very tricky opponent. At this point, however, we get to make use of a new strat in terms of returns. Actually, no, we don't use it here just yet. We're still gonna rely on our straight balls. This is the last match where we do so, though. Yeah, as you can see, Elroy's balls already have quite a good amount of spin, so that adds another variable, quite a literal curveball, if you want, into reading our opponents. Because now you also have to read their curves, which is dependent on their spin they input. Nice. Right there, I actually took a step forward. Ooh, wow, that's a good one. Can't be mad. There's quite a few opponents from this point on. If they step out wide and hit a really good serve, they could, like, shoot it so far out of the court that I can't reach it from a standstill. So I have to, like, counteract that by moving forward a little and intercept the ball earlier. Damn it. I absolutely do not want to get hit with a blizzard shot. He's in control. Not anymore. Blizzard shot on top of knocking you back far also freezes you momentarily, so you're pretty much boned if you get hit by a blizzard shot. Really hard to come back from that. Yes. This is going pretty well. Nice, all four. Oh, he still went for that. I tried to not hit it that hard, so he wouldn't use that defensive power shot, but he still went for it. Dang it. Sometimes manipulating the AI just doesn't quite work. The returns are on point right now. Almost. Alright, and with that we're in the finals. Alright, our final opponent is going to be Willy from Factory. And Willy is a very unique character. Willy is a trickster player, which basically means his highest stat is spin. His balls have got some mad curves. So I've got to be absolutely ready for that. And as I've already mentioned, against Elroy, opponents can hit some really nasty serves when they step out far. Willy can also do that from a standstill, because he can just curve his ball so well that it just completely flies off the court. So yeah, I'm gonna gamble on that not happening, but when I see him stepping out far, I'm definitely gonna move closer to the net to intercept the ball early. That's a real threat here with this guy. See how it goes. Yeah, as you can see, that is such a silly curve. Also, Island Open Finals theme is a banger. Almost didn't get that because of his curve. Ah, he played it close behind the net. Oh my god, stop stepping out far. What? He stepped close to the net. That's an interesting move. God. Yeah, Willie plays some very interesting tennis. Alright. Right here I'm actually going to start using spun returns. So I'm gonna hit them either with a topspin, which is a ball with a red trail, or a oh, that was the really nasty serves that I was talking about. That's the thing that can happen. Of course, as soon as I start explaining stuff, he tries to hit me with a weird one. But yeah, I'm gonna start utilizing spin returns more now, because I can also make use of the extra curve. And now that my stroke stat is actually fairly high, it's gonna make quite the difference. Oh my god, he is absolutely in control of the game right now. Well, and he just forfeited it by playing a high ball. This could be going a lot better. But oh well. Get right into him. This is annoying. Just kind of banking at that point on getting a high shot from him, but I can just smash it back. Oh, I'm being rolled. Oh, stop it, man. He also steps out far so often now. Like he knows I don't want that. God damn it. Again? Yeah. Certified Willy moment. What a mess. Oh, we did it. Island Open is won. The game isn't over yet, though. We still got a few more matches to play. So after quite a bit more of cutscenes and some little stuff in between, we're gonna head into the next few matches, so this is the last good point of the run to read off donations or pluck some incentives and all the good stuff. So yeah. Gonna load back into our file and start the next day. Alright. So we're basically done at this point with the game. We still got one more thing to go, one more little tournament. You know, this game isn't quite complete yet. Kinda missing something here. You know, the game's called Mario Tennis Power Tour, but up until this point we haven't seen any of the Mario crew. But, well, would you look at that. There he is. So, remember how Alex, the head coach, told us that if we win the Island Open, we'd get to know who these masked players are. Well, it turns out it was Mario and the crew, challenging old pal Alex for a rematch. And now we get to play against Mario and the crew. So we are formally invited to the Peach Tournament. So we've got 3 matches left to play. And once we beat Mario in the finals, it is time. Which will be in a little more than 10 minutes from now, I'd say, if everything goes well. And so we are off. Just a bit more cutscenes before we get to play. We go. Little RNG roadblock ahead. Yeah, that guy likes to walk into the way. Kind of a prick, but yeah, happens. Alright, here we are. There they all at. So there's 6 Mario characters in this game, and you can see them all right there. Well, technically you can see 7, but Toadstool's not a player. Is it Toadstool? No. Toadsworth! That's what the guy was called, the old man. He's not a playable character, but Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Bowser, Waluigi, and Peach. Those are the playable characters. And some of these we're gonna have to face off against in the Peach Tournament now. Our first opponent will be Peach herself, and she's actually one of the hardest matches in the game, because Peach is a technical player. She's great both offensively and defensively, so really difficult to score against. She can score against you pretty well, and on top of that, her power shots are also quite dangerous. Hopefully we don't have to deal with those too much, though. We're especially going to notice Peach's defensive capabilities in the return sets. That was a really, really good return from my end, and she still got that. Most opponents would have gotten a return winner there. So there's a very good chance I won't even... Never mind. I am seeing one return winner here. I like to be proven wrong like that. But yeah, generally with Peach you hardly ever expect return winners. Most I've ever seen in this match I think are 2. Going pretty well so far though. That was also once again a really good return. Against most opponents, that would have been a score. Nice, 2 return winners. I love to see it. Oh my god! 3? That's above average already, and we still have one set to go. This is going really well. Bounce again, and then shoot it down the other line. Ooh, that's a nasty serve. Very, very good match, though. That could not have gone a lot better. Alright. Round 2 is against Bowser. So, our stats are really good at this point. We've been utilizing spin returns a lot, but now we can kind of start using a mix-up, because in some scenarios it's actually better to hit a straight return. Because, you know, you also get to pick your strong hand in this game. I just, by default, put it on right. But yeah, depending on where the opponent plays the ball, it's sometimes actually better to hit a straight return like that. So I just start playing a mixed game here. If I play these last 2 matches really well, we should be seeing a lot of return winners here in general. That was my first service ace, damn. Getting a little unlucky on those. That was completely misplayed. And I just played it right into him. That power shot knocks me back so far. I definitely want to use my defensive right there. But yeah, if you play it right most of the time, you're gonna get a return winner. Ooh, what a return. Yeah. Definitely far from the best Bowser I've seen. But at least the returns are going alright. Ooh! Dangerous. Thank you. How kind of you to play the ball high there. Alright. That could have been better. Alright, final match here against Mario. Mario is actually, weirdly enough, the easiest match in Peach Tournament. Once again, I'm gonna play a mixed return style against him. And if I do this well, I should get somewhere around 10 to 11 return winners out of this. Ooh, that was close. That's going swimmingly. 8 for 8 on return winners. Alright, entering the final set. Time will be once I confirm the stat changes on the level up screen after defeating Mario. So get ready on that. We are 4 points away from that now. 3 points. Hopefully they're all return winners. Gonna end on a 12 for 12. Ah. Damn. Alright, get ready on time. And time. Pretty good run. And again a PB. Jesus, why do I always do this in submission videos? Alright. That was Mario Tennis Power Tour. Thank you for watching. So it is a pretty fun speed game, and I'd say if you're interested in this, any percent singles easy is a very, very fast to learn and easy to understand category, so I highly recommend you start out with that if you're interested at all in the game. But yeah, join the Discord, the Mario Tennis Discord. We have a unified Discord for all Mario Tennis games. If you're interested in that, you can find a link to the Discord on the SRC pages for the games. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good one.